C1. You are listening at FameTV.info. Tang Guogua took a taxi to the villa Su Cheng was in, and after a few security guards, he finally entered the core area. Su Cheng was waiting for her on the grass in front of the villa. When he saw Tang Guogua get off the car, he immediately ran over. With a big stomach, Tang Guogua calmly took out the design from his bag and gave it to Su Cheng. Su Cheng took the design and looked at it, and inadvertently said, "You don't know, I've been here for so many days, yet I haven't even seen that person. However, it's still quite scary, not daring to relax in the slightest." Tang Guogua patted Su Cheng's arm to comfort him. "She's not here, what are you afraid of? Vice President Su, take out your usual strong woman posture. She's the CEO, and you'll be the general manager in the future." Su Cheng's mouth twitched. "Thank you, elder, for thinking so highly of me. I dare not compare myself to that man. The bows with the highest number of River City is simply not comparable to ours at all." Tang Guogua laughed. "All right, Su Cheng, be confident, in the future, you will definitely." Before she even finished speaking, Tang Guogua's face changed as she noticed something too. She turned her head and looked at the long, shady road behind her. Su Cheng secretly squeezed Tang Guogua's hand, and Tang Guogua immediately understood. Just as he was about to open the taxi door, he sat down. "Master, let's leave quickly." Tang Guogua guessed that this carriage should belong to the mysterious President Bo. The taxi drove forward, and as it brushed past the black car, Tang Guogua's figure flashed past from the back. At the same time, Bo Yuan's gaze passed through the window, looking straight at Tang Guogua, who was in the car, as though he was examining him, his black eyes slightly squinted, looking deep and profound. Zheng Chuan got out of the car, walked around and opened the back door. Seeing Bo Yuan, a look of shock flashed past Su Cheng's eyes, but at the same time, he immediately covered his eyes with fear. Even she didn't dare meet this man's gaze that was as deep as ink. "CEO, this is Vice President Su Cheng Su from Golden Knower. He is also in charge of the basement renovation." Su Cheng reached out his hand with a smile. "President Bo, how do you do?" Bo Yuan quickly grasped Su Cheng's fingers and retracted them past her, and continued walking forward. Zheng Chuan did not follow along immediately and instead exchanged a few words with Su Cheng. Although Su Cheng was curious about the mysterious Bo Yuan, she did not want to interact with him much even if she saw him in person. Bo Yuan, who was on the third floor, changed his clothes and went back downstairs. Zheng Chuan smiled at Su Cheng before getting on the car again, and quickly left the villa. I and the carriage. Bo Yuan suddenly spoke out, his voice was cold, "Go and check on that pregnant woman." Zheng Chuan was shocked. "The pot-bellied woman just now. The CEO thinks that she. Is there a problem?" Zheng Chuan completely didn't know how an ordinary woman with a big belly could arouse the CEO's interest. The child in her womb. Zheng Chuan was a little confused. What did the child in his stomach have to do with the CEO? This was the first time Zheng Chuan's reaction was slow. From start to finish, Tang Guogua felt that someone was following him. But when he looked back, there was nothing. Was it because he had been suspicious ever since he got pregnant? After getting off the bus, she was walking home with the pork ribs and vegetables she had just bought. Tang Guogua smiled slightly, lowered his head, and talked to the little darlings in his stomach. "Fortunately, the two of you are accompanying me." A gentle smile, fresh and beautiful. A black business car suddenly stopped by her side of the road. Two people quickly got off. Tang Guogua was caught off guard. One of them covered her mouth, the other grabbed her feet. The two of them quickly carried her off the car. Tang Guogua did not even have time to struggle, and no one noticed that the carriage had left. After Tang Guogua got off the car, he was invited to sit here. The milk, pastries, and fruits were placed in front of her. The fruit plate looked like a work of art to Tang Guogua. From the sofa on which they were sitting to the decorations of the entire living room, every single one of them showed that the people here were either rich or noble. However, for such a person to kidnap her, what was his purpose? After sitting for around 20 minutes, the babies inside her stomach started to protest. Tang Guogua gently caressed her stomach, seemingly comforting them. For the sake of the children, she couldn't be too nervous herself. She had to relax so the children could relax. Miss Tang, dinner is ready. Eat your meal first. Mr. said he would be back after a while. A middle-aged woman who could be considered friendly walked to Tang Guoguo's side, and did not forget to remind him, is the child hungry too? Tang Guoguo looked at her, elder sister, can you tell me where we are? Who is the gentleman you are talking about? Why did he kidnap me? The middle-aged woman only smiled, Miss Tang, you can eat first. I think he'll let you know when you come back. Tang Guoguo frowned, she was silent and did not receive an answer, she just sat there like a statue. The child and Miss Tang cannot bear the hunger. You are not good for children. Tang Guoguo's hand that was placed on her stomach moved, but she still stood up in the end and walked towards the dining hall. The dining hall was very big, and was even bigger than the room Tang Guoguo was currently living in. She sat at the dining table, looking at the different dishes on the table. Miss Tang, this is a nutritious meal suitable for pregnant women. You can choose from it. Tang Guoguo was indeed very interested in all these, but she was also not so free to fill her stomach. Until 8 in the evening, Tang Guoguo was still waiting absent-mindedly. He forcefully held back his eyelids, and placed his hand on his stomach, unconsciously touching it. Outside the house, the lights flashed, and Tang Guoguo sat up straight subconsciously, clenching his fists tightly. Open the door, voice said, Miss Tang. She has eaten. The footsteps were neither fast nor slow, but they were powerful and steady. Tang Guoguo took a deep breath, raised his head and looked at the man who walked over. It was a very tall man, cold and reserved, with a stern expression on his face. No one dared to meet his gaze. He walked over and sat down beside Tang Guoguo, causing her to be even more alert and stiff. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.